So, Ending 5 of Go Rush just came out recently, and I've been listening to it non-stop like a freaking maniac. But I can't help it, it's such a beautiful ending, and without a doubt, the best ending in Go Rush. Major spoilers for Season 3 of Go Rush, by the way, so if you haven't watched the show and are interested in watching it, or are just not caught up, click off this video now. 3, 2, 1, Go Rush! Now, endings don't usually tell us as much as openings about what's to come, but there's so much symbolism and imagery in this ending, it feels like we're ending such an amazing journey. So, I'm gonna analyze all the symbolism in this ending because I am a no-lifer through and through. The first shot of the ending is a beautiful night sky panning down to Vel gear resting on the ground as we listen to the slow part of the song. The wind hits at the last syllable, followed by the night sky fading to white before the music starts up and we get flashes of scenes from all the openings and endings of Go Rush, showing our characters mainly having fun. Most of them actually come from opening 1, ending 1, and opening 2. We then get scenes of Yuhi and Yuumu looking off into the distance with the wind blowing in their hair dramatically, as is tradition in any anime opening and ending. The most interesting part of these shots is Yugioh. Each shot of the twins shows their most impactful memories with Yugioh. For Yuhi, it shows the first time he met Yugioh and rush dueled against him. That moment was the catalyst for Yuhi to start growing as a duelist, and for the future adventures he and his sister would go on. For Yuumu, it shows Yugioh in space when she dueled against him in place of Yugioh. This moment was a huge turning point in her character arc and shaped her into wanting to become Otis in place of Yugioh to give him his happy ending. The lyrics during these shots are also really interesting and fit their character arcs well. The lyrics during Yuhi's part are, "Ah no, not yet, I don't want to go. The memories I made with you, you know they keep adding up." These lyrics really apply to Yuhi, especially after the most recent episode before this ending aired, where he transformed into Otis. He never wanted to lose his memories and the people close to him, but he did it for the sake of his sister, and all the memories he shared with his friends and family added up over time. The lyrics for Yuumu's part are, "But it's like they aren't there. Our bonds and destiny, they're invisible you see, but I'm sure they'll never go away." For the entirety of Season 3, Yuumu has been trying to seal away her memories, thus losing the bonds and connections she made throughout the show. But as the song says, bonds and destiny are invisible and they never go away. And this is Yugioh, so something friendship is magic. The next shot is Yugioh with his eyes closed falling with a clock ticking in the background, and you can see the hands of the clock as we flash to different backdrops, that being the front of UTS at sunrise, the flower field Yugioh stands in during the opening, and overhead at the Velgear star cluster. These 3 locations all hold significant meaning for Yugioh. The Velgear star cluster is his home planet, UTS became his home on Earth, and is where he works, and the flower field is where he and Yugioh had their iconic confession moment that made all the gays squeal. This shot of Yugioh falling, followed by all the goodbye scenes later in the ending, and him standing with the other Velgarians, makes people believe that something might happen to Yugioh at the end of the show. And while I don't think Yugioh will die because they've never really had a main character die at the end of the show, I do believe he'll be leaving Earth at the end of the show and parting ways with everyone he's met there. We then see Yugioh, Yuhi, and Yuumu put their hands together, causing stars to erupt below them. The camera swirls around them in a circle, showing their excited reactions as the background is space. There's really no significance to this moment, but it's nice to see our main trio together and smiling, even if it's just for an ending. And the lyrics talk about flying over everything guided by the stars, which checks out as the cast have gone to space multiple times. The next shots are of Yugioh having a moment with each important member of the cast, bidding them farewell, which I think is implied due to how he interacts with them, and the lyrics saying, "It doesn't have to be goodbye, once our journey ends even after we've parted." Oh my gosh, guys, this ending really makes me feel like this is the end of the show and I'm so sad! Each moment makes sense for the character and their connection to Yugioh. It starts with Yuhi, who fist bumps Yugioh on the chest with a huge grin, which feels significant due to the bond they share. Next is Yuumu, who leans in towards Yugioh with a smile, and even though their bond isn't as looked upon as him and Yuhi's, Yugioh shares a strong bond with Yuumu, and they've helped each other out along the way. Side note though, Yuumu almost looks like she's bowing to Yugioh in an apology, and Yugioh is just being an awkward bean about it, but maybe I'm just reading too much into it. Manabu and Yugioh's fist bump, Nyanda star on his shoulder. Manabu is Yugioh's first ally outside of UTS, and while their relationship has been all over the place, like Manabu's character arc, they have each other's backs, and a simple fist bump feels natural for them, as fellow warriors. Asaka and Yugioh just share some dialogue, which checks out as they didn't have much of a relationship. Same goes for Yugioh and Yuna, but this one feels weird as they've never had a good relationship. And here Yugioh has his eyes closed and is smiling while Yuna just looks up at him and smiles. It doesn't feel right. Rovian plays him some music while he listens serenely, which feels on character for both of them. Rovian did acknowledge Yugioh after their duel in Arc 2. Then the Luke shows Yugioh some of his manga while Yugioh eats curry bread, which is funny, but also nice considering their recent duel where Yugioh helped him and Epoch sort out their differences. Damamu goes straight for the hug, which Yugioh accepts. Wholesome and on character for Damamu. They are so wholesome, protect them at all costs. Phaser and Yugioh shake hands. Fun fact, this is the only character in this ending that is taller than Yugioh, so Yugioh is not forced to bend over here. Yugioh and Phaser were enemies turned allies, but didn't have much of a relationship, so a simple handshake makes sense for them. And the last character is Epoch, seemingly chastising Yugioh, who's just taking it. They have such a cute bond though, and Epoch has developed so much, so even though she's giving him crap right now, we know she cares for him and will miss him deeply when he leaves. The next shot is of Yugioh, Kwaidul, and Yugioh, the last remaining Belgarians, standing in the sunrise, wind blowing behind them, smiling at what's ahead of them. Since it shows the three together, I'm assuming that if Yugioh leaves or disappears at the end of the show, Yugioh and Kwaidul will also be gone. It does make sense for Kwaidul, as he is one with Yugioh right now and is kind of playing the Yuto role to him. But with Yugioh, I'm not really sure anymore. He's currently just working with the Dark Matter Empire and is probably going to be working with Yuhi Otis, or Huhi as I like to call him. So how he reunites and stays with Yugioh is beyond me. The people the Belgarians seem to be looking at are the Odo twins, as they stare back, smiling, hair flying in the wind. This is implying though that Yuhi might get his memories back, as if this is predicting that the twins say goodbye to Yugioh, Yuhi would need his memories back for this to be impactful. I hope he does though, because it's only been 3 weeks and I miss him already. I just want Yuhi back. I'm so sad! The lyrics here also hit really hard. It doesn't have to be goodbye because our hearts have connected. Another cliche in Yu-Gi-Oh, but it hits hard after everything our cast has been through, and even centuries later, their connection will always exist. And by a meeting of fate, they had amazing, life-changing adventures together. The last shot of the ending is a room with a table at sunset, a photo on the table that's too bright to make out. Something blocks out the sunlight, like a chest closing on it or something, and the photo is revealed to be of Yuhi, Yuumu, and Yugioh in Season 1. Yuhi too close to the camera, Yuumu making a silly face, and Yugioh just looking confused to what the heck's going on. It's a reminder of simpler times, and that the bond these three share will last forever. And that was my overdramatic analysis of this ending. This is the most in-depth I've ever looked at any anime ending, but I love this show so much right now, and how much symbolism this ending shows is insane. The imagery is beautiful, the music is amazing, and it makes me happy and sad all at the same time. Side note, I actually showed this ending to my brother, who doesn't watch this show, and he said you would have never guessed this was Yu-Gi-Oh, as it looks like your typical anime ending, which I take as a compliment, as it shows that Yu-Gi-Oh is more than just a children's card game commercial. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of the ending down below. This is Queen of Penguins saying peace out, and this isn't goodbye.
Sayonara.